I'm Ava and I'm in 11th grade. I grew up in the church and my family always went to church every weekend. So I always had that foundation, but doubt started to rise when I saw other Christians either judging or conforming to the world. I just started to notice how a lot of Christians, no matter the age, they start to judge a lot of other people, whether they're a Christian or they're not a Christian, based on outward appearance and legalism rather than an actual relationship with God. One thing specifically that I've noticed is, especially at my age, it would be judging other Christians based on what they wear. Let's say someone came in wearing something that's not considered the most modest. I could just feel the judgment directed more towards that person, and I'm just like, why? I understand the importance of it, but I don't think that is the most important thing that Christians should be placing on people who just come and visit church. When you go to church or when new people come to church, I don't think that they should ever feel condemned or judged in the way that makes them not want to be there. It makes a person feel condemned or like they're doing something wrong, and God is never going to condemn you. Other Christians have made me doubt not only in their judgment, but also their conformity to the world. And that, like, obviously no one's ever going to be perfect, but if we look like the world and we act like the world, what makes us different and what is the point of even following Jesus in this life? It's difficult for me to see other Christians conforming to the world because I've been there, and just watching friends go down a path that does not lead to life, it just brings, like, you come out of it being like, what was I doing? And that makes me doubt God, because I would question why he would let someone go down a path that just leads to nowhere. Christians are supposed to be representatives of God, and when they conform to the world, that's not how it's supposed to be. I don't believe that's a good representation of how Jesus was. So for a while, I doubted God based off of other Christians' actions and attitudes towards other people, whether it was judgment or whether they were conforming to the world. But in reality, I realized that I can also be the judgmental one and also conform to the world. And I struggled for a long time trying to find the balance between the two until finally I was like, God is neither. God is only love. It's simply about the realest love you will ever know. And when I doubt God or don't understand why he does the things he does, I just remember that I don't have to understand it all for God to be real. His existence does not rest on my emotions or my perceptions of other Christians. A person's faith shouldn't rest on other people's faiths, because Jesus is the only person who was ever perfect and is ever going to be perfect. No one will ever be able to perfectly imitate Jesus, but we can try. Over the years, I've trained myself not to doubt. I know what I believe, and I've trained myself not to let other people's actions or the way they treat me get in the way of my relationship with God, because that's the most important thing to me.